What's up, world? So many of you have been asking for me to bring these videos back, so I appreciate everyone's interest in what I do here. And for those of you that normally check the blog, appreciate all you guys' support and always being into what I do and arguing with me in the comments. Again, I know over the years I've definitely been very opinionated in that blog. A recent comment that I had in there, the reviews are useless unless I'm actually going to listen to the record. So about that, when it comes to what I post on the recently added, just know that I definitely listen to the record in full once, right? If it catches me, I'll listen to it again. But after that first listen, honestly, with anywhere between 6 to 10 records coming out every month, a month, 6 records a week, probably not going to revisit it if it didn't catch me, or unless one of my friends tells me, hey man, you might want to go back and check out this album. Or if I start reading reviews and there I see that maybe I got it all wrong. So just know that I definitely listen to the entire record from front to back. And I also don't post about them right away. You'll find that many times records that come out, I won't post about them for another week or two. That's because sometimes other reviews will make me listen to the record very differently. For instance, the new Fleshwater album, there isn't a blog that isn't blowing up about how fantastic that record is. Many comment sections are talking about that record being one of the top 10. And I don't know. I mean, it was good. I don't know if it's even making my runner-ups this year. I figured what I would start by doing, just kind of picking up some shit that I have laying around the apartment. We'll kind of take it from there. So we'll give you an opportunity to talk about some records that I have laying around. Generally what I do, if I really like an album or if it's a new release, I'll buy the vinyl. I've retired from buying CDs. There's about 1,200 of them jewel cases, assorted Tupperware in my in-laws' basement. So one day when I decide to get out of this apartment, move into a house, hopefully I can set them up again. But ever since then, I've moved over to vinyl. I feel like it's a bigger bang for your buck. When you listen to the record, you can't skip through it. So you're kind of suckered into that full experience. So generally, if I buy music, it's going to be on a 12, 7-inch or whatever. Otherwise, I'm subscribed to your usual networks, your Spotify and your Apple. So let's start. First record that I got laying around is this sucker right here. This is Inclination's Unaltered Perspective. Many of you know this band features Isaac Hale from Knocked Loose fame. And you can literally hear it on the guitars, man. I mean, he's got that chorus effect on it. I love the EP. I love what this band does live. Great energy. Really excited about that show. Congrats to Incendiary. Just found out that it's sold out. Really looking forward to that in January in Brooklyn at Elsewhere. So if you're sleeping on that record, definitely want to check that out. It's the new Inclination album. It is out on Pure Noise. Unaltered Perspective. I definitely think this is one of the top contenders. For a hardcore record, I thought it was just really a sensational listen. Next comes up from one of the classics, Deftones Self-Titled, one of my favorite records to sit on the floor in the dark, if you know what I mean. Has some of the best songs in this band's catalog, probably second best to Around the Fur, which I would consider the pinnacle of Deftones. Probably third would be Diamond Eyes. I don't know, I would say White Pony's tied in there for third too. But again, I think this is probably some of the best Deftones material out there. Found this walking around in Brooklyn on my way to the barber. Saw it in the window, couldn't pass it up. Next is Vain. Vain's This World Is Going to Ruin You. Again, another one of those albums that I think a lot of folks are talking about being their album of the year or top contender or whatever. Obviously they tried a bunch of really different sounds, and if you've seen the band live recently, you can definitely attest to the fact that it's very different. The way the band has been playing live prior. I recall of the Higher Power Vain tour that we saw at Brooklyn Bazaar before it closed in Greenpoint. The set must have been like 15 minutes long. I saw them at the Kerrang Pit at the Gutter, and they were doing a very different, real quick set. Everybody waits around for this headliner and they play like 15 minutes and bail. Very explosive stuff, but just saw them at This Is Hardcore. The way that they incorporated this track listing into what they're doing now is insatiable. I think their programmer has a lot to do with it. A very tight band, a great front man, just an overall really great product. And obviously Will Putney on the board, you're never gonna go wrong there. So our next record, I got this one, Rough Trade Rockefeller Center, it's Undeath, Lesions of a Different Kind. So this is not the new one that they just released that ended up at #1 on Decibel's list of the year, which I found a little strange. Definitely a hard-working band, definitely a great record. Album of the year though? Leave it in the comments. A sick little booger slime green design. Undeath is an interesting band. I really love that logo. Really gory. I mean, look it up on Google. It's like blasted with skulls. You know, I went to go see them when they were on tour with Dying Fetus earlier this year, with Frozen Soul. Body Snatcher may have been on that as well, possibly Chelsea Grin. I've seen those bands so many times. Honestly, I'm not interested in seeing a band 3, 4, 5 times in 1 year. I just saw Body Snatcher with Hatebreed. Didn't need to see them with Dying Fetus. Watch Undeath, Frozen Soul, and out with my wife and her friend. Oh, a really important record. This Gulch album. Didn't know if I wanted to open it yet. Honestly, the reality is, I'm sure it's been repressed and whatever. But given that the band is no longer performing, kind of wanted to keep that secure. I was surprised that I found it. I saw this at a record store in Seattle. I was up there visiting my friend. An opportunity to see Kurt Cobain's house, which was dope. Take some few photos. But they had a really great selection. This new Gulch record and the last one, I guess, absolutely killer. Jack Shirley did it all at Atomic Garden in Oakland, California. Absolutely amazing. The artwork, the Boone Naka cover, this art is just stupid. So definitely check out his page on social media. Gulch, an interesting band. You know, they obviously didn't play live enough to be super fluid. I got an opportunity to see one of the last shows. Killer record. If you can find it on vinyl somewhere, I highly recommend picking it up. Next up is Candy's record. Really interesting band. If you had an opportunity to hear the band's new record, very noisy. The hardcore is really, really good. And obviously live, absolutely force to be reckoned with. Good to feel. I think the Pinnacle Candy record, the last track is very surprising. But again, I think that they completely switched the sound up. Kind of did what Full of Hell is doing with the programming. I don't know. Some of that stuff's just not for me. I just don't understand it. Really great, hardworking, hardcore band. Definitely check it out. I think that's the record to start with if you're not familiar with them. Next, it's the new Dare record. Haven't had an opportunity to open up this one yet. Just got it. Awesome quote on the top sticker over here. Scott Vogel, master of stage dives. My favorite band in hardcore right now. Straight edge hardcore from Orange County, done to perfection. What's cool is that this band featured the other Garris brother. I believe he's on drums. Don't quote me on that, but I know that he's in the band, right? So, you know, Brian Garris, singer from Knocked Loose, his brother is in Dare. Super sweet little straight edge hardcore band. So definitely don't sleep on it. They've been touring a lot. Hopefully that clout with Knocked Loose helps them out. Obviously, one of the biggest things that happened in 2021, if you haven't seen Knocked Loose yet, it's hard to believe. I mean, those guys haven't gone home in years. Obviously, they've been on the road consistently, taking hardcore to the next level. If you had an opportunity to see that headline tour with Movements and Kubla Khan, you probably saw some of the production that they had. Absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, it's no longer just about a banner and a bass drum with your band title on it. I mean, these guys have LEDs. I mean, it's just on another level. Songs are there, so you know you can't doubt these guys. Knocked Loose is just what's there to say that hasn't already been said. A few more here. Got Gorillaz D-sides, so huge Gorillaz fan. Actually have all of their records on vinyl. Seen the band at the Garden in the past, seen them with Future and Erykah Badu at the Meadows Fest in Queens a few years back. This record's really interesting. It's kind of a sloppy mess of everything that didn't make it over to the Demon Days records from what I understand. But I mean, D-sides, I mean, just look at how long this thing is. It's a, you know, double vinyl, double-sided fat pack. So I think that's a great party record. People, one of the best tracks that the band's ever done. Love Damon Albarn, love Gorillaz. Another shameless plug, Deftones, obviously, childhood fan, been around with them for years. My buddy bought this for me for my birthday. What is cool, and we should take a moment to talk about White Pony. So, White Pony. The record initially came out in June of 2000, right? So, when it first came out, it featured this track listing, right? So Fitsera is first, that's how I pronounce it at least. Digital Bath, Elite, RX Queen, Street Carb, Teenager, Knife Party, Korea, Passenger Change, Pink Maggot, right? That was the initial record. Now they also released 2 enhanced versions of this record. The black and the red jewel case, and it just had that D with the horsey on it. Had the same track listing as this one, but it also featured, it was called The Boys Republic. Both of those were pressed for 25,000 copies. So you had those 2 versions of the record, right? The OG with the white pony on the bottom right, it was the silver cover, and then you had those other 2 that featured The Boys Republic. Aside from that, what was happening at that time in 2000, the Little Nicky soundtrack, the Freddy vs. Jason. What I can tell you is that because of Little Nicky, Deftones redid Pink Maggot into some kind of weird, bastardized Back to School, which you probably know as a hit single. They ended up re-releasing White Pony with Back to School as the first track, and then Fitsera second, which is so strange to me because that song initially wasn't on the album. It's a crap version of what the album Closer is doing. And I never liked it when Chino was an MC. You know, the Linus and the adrenaline stuff has a lot of that vibe. I obviously, given my comments earlier about the Deftones self-titled, that should say a lot about the version of the band that I really enjoy. And again, it's just my opinion. So anyhow, what is cool is that when they finally release this 20th edition with the Black Stallion and White Pony, it's the intended track listing with Fitsera first, closing with Pink Maggot. So I'm so happy that the version that I got, that was gifted to me, is the pure version. It would be nice if there was like another little 7-inch or something with the Boys Republic. Deftones, if you're listening, think about it. Last thing, just to talk about, the Ozzy Osbourne Revolver was laying around St. Vitus the other day when I was there for the Ken Mode show. Huge Ken Mode fan, so loved what I saw there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, drop a comment, let me know what you think. Hopefully we can keep this routine going back. So thank you for supporting the blog, supporting independent hardcore and metal, and I'll talk to you all soon.